This is Gary Dean, PremiumCustomDetailing.com in Tampa, Florida. I'm at my shop today and I wanted to just show you the car I'm working on today. It's a 2006 Acura TL. What I've been asked to do is make it look as good as possible on the exterior so that my client can trade it in or do whatever it is he's going to do with the vehicle. His plan is to buy a Lexus. I have definitely removed some contamination from the vehicle. The whole car didn't necessarily look as bad as this, but it was in pretty bad shape. So. Alright, this Acura is prepped. By that I mean washed and clay barred. It's got some swirls on it. The gloss is good. No real haziness to speak of, but it definitely has some swirls. And it has these crow's feet and spider webbing. Those defects are all over the surface of the trunk lid. Random other portions of the car as well. They're all over the hood. And you can see it's not good. So anyway, the plan is to get these swirl marks removed. How you doing? Taking off with it?
No, I'm just posing here for your picture.
Oh, well, I'm shooting video actually.
Okay. Oh, I should. So you don't want to take my picture?
Love bug etchings. And if you look closely, you can see what I'm talking about. That haziness that's on this section kind of makes me feel uncomfortable about doing much to this bumper. So what I'm gonna do to the bumpers is I'm gonna actually polish it by hand to ensure that I don't put too much pressure on it. But I definitely am going to I'm gonna try a few different things, see what I can do to enhance the gloss on that thing. But you can see those swirls. This paint definitely has some serious issues. My client said that he's wet sanded some spots on the hood and used Meguiars M105 and M205, and that's not necessarily a problem. So no extra risk is taken. You got to make sure that sometimes it's just not worth doing more to a vehicle. Another thing I want to do is get rid of all of this haziness in the trim there. So I'm going to get that straightened out as well. So I'm going to be removing some swirls, but I'm going to be very, very, very careful on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it back inside and get to work. All right, here we are with this Acura. I haven't done any polishing as of yet. All that's been done to the vehicle is wash and then clay bar, and I clean the wheels. This hood has lots of issues, and so does the deck lid in the rear and then the roof. But if you see all the swirls where the halogen is, that's what I'm going to try to focus on today. Alright, I switched to a white pad, and that's doing much better than the blue pad was, as far as just that extra little bite that I needed with the D151 to try to mill it down a little bit. I notice enhanced clarity. There are definitely some random isolated deeper scratches that are absolutely in the paint, but this wasn't a detail where I'm trying to get everything out. I'm just trying to remove the swirls and enhance the gloss and make it look really good for when he goes to trade it in. So I would say that what I'm going to go with is definitely going to be the white with the Meguiars D151, the paint reconditioning cream. And that should knock the swirls out. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed with that. Let me give you, you can see that this pad is kind of gross. It's not, it's actually very clean. It's just stained from a Lexus that I did with some tinted clear. So what I'm going to show you is, I'm going to take my fancy new Marine Brinkman. I like the colors. And on this side right here, I used the blue pad with the D151. In the center, I did not use anything because that's where the tape was. And then on the left here, I used the white pad. You can see just in the halogen above the difference in the correction. The blue pad definitely made it enhanced the clarity, but it didn't actually cut any to remove the defects. So D151 with the blue pad, none at all. And then that's with the white pad. That gave me exactly what I'm looking for. Looking good. I know I showed you outside what these look like, but see how swirled and nasty they are? See that? Now we're going to see what this white 5.5 inch buff and shine pad. So we're going to see what that and D151 will do to these areas. Gary Dean reporting live from Tampa, Florida. D151 does it again. Check that out. That's one pass. Well, it's one section pass. Should say that being my section. With the D151 and the white buff and shine pad. If that ain't correction, I don't know what is, friends. Anyway. Looks good to me. How about that? Get her done. Yeah, I just want to point out something. Do you see that white pad? Yes, you do. That is what this section left on my pad. I would imagine it's because of the trim areas and you know, the random dirt and grime that sticks to plastic and rubber. So don't put that back on paint. After you've polished and gotten this nastiness on your pad, wash your pad before you use it again. Alright, here's the final walk around. It's all done. I polished the whole car. Well, first of all, I washed it with my infinite use detail juice as a rinseless wash, and then following that with my aero clay to remove the contaminants from the paint prior to the polishing, which I began the polishing with Meguiars D151, but found that in some areas I had to use a more aggressive method, so I went to the Optimum Hyper Polish Spray. No swirls, definitely have some random isolated deeper scratches, which is no problem. The gloss is intense now. I mean, the gloss is just ridiculous. You know, I think it looks fantastic. I clean the wheels and the barrels as usual. I also dressed the tires in my Tuned Performance tire and trim gel, which, yeah, it's fantastic. Of course, I did design it, but either way, I put one coat on those tires. No true gloss. I could add another layer if I'd like to add some gloss, but I think that's sufficient for what we're trying to achieve. I mean, the car looks fantastic. It's a beautiful color. I like it a lot. Wipe the door jambs out, you know, stuff like that. I was right. I did see some wet sanding marks from when they did the headlights. It seems like they wet sanded this area. Actually, there's pigtails from machine sanding on both sides, so I was extremely careful around those areas. The car looks great. You can see what kind of defect removal I got. But as far as this particular detail goes, he wanted to trade it in, wanted it to look as good as possible without breaking the bank, and I am confident that I have achieved that. So thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.